Basically, it looks like I'm gonna have to save your planet.
Wait, pausing that. Can we just think about that line for a minute?
Basically, I'm gonna have to save your planet.
What are you, a alien?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 45 of Cup of Joe's. I'm your host, Joe Brown, joined by my best friend, Joe Perrion. Joe, how you living?
I'm good, Joe Brown.
Like a gangster in paradise?
No. Joe Brown, stop. This is important.
What?
What's good against Golbat?
Electric, psychic, rock, and ice. He is a flying and poison type.
Oh, good thing I got that Kadabra on the lineup. Let's go, Kadabra! We're gonna do it!
You don't got a Pikachu?
Nah, I had one, but I was like, you know what? Forget this.
I respect it. Anyway, on this episode of Cup of Joe's, we are going to have some fun discussions around the Sonic movie that has been turning the internet ablaze the last couple days. We also had a live stream of more gameplay and story notes and things like that from Borderlands 3, which comes out this September. So Joe is going to recap all that since he is quite the Borderlands baddie in this. Definitely compared to me.
I'm a Vault Hunter. All right, I'm a Vault Hunter.
And then we're also going to talk, obviously it's not video game related, but it is kind of nerdy related in Game of Thrones and the Battle of Winterfell, aka Season 8, Episode 3, The Long Night, one of the most anticipated episodes in television history. We're going to have a discussion about that at the end, of course, in case you haven't seen it. We don't want you to miss any of our other topics. But I say we get going, and we get going fast, Joe, and we start off with the Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer.
Okay, fine. Let's do it.
You seem to be okay. Let's preface it this way. Would you argue, or would you agree that I am a bigger Sonic fan than you are? Would you, Joe?
What did you just say to me?
Would you agree with the statement that I am a bigger Sonic fan than you are?
Who do you think you are?
Running around leaving scars, collecting those jars of heart or jar of hearts. I mess up.
I guess.
Apart.
Yeah, tearing love apart. Whatever. I don't know what you're talking about. But,
you're gonna catch a cold.
Oh my god. Okay. Anyway,
now you know what I'm talking about.
No. I think you would be the bigger Sonic. Like, I did play the original ones, and I think I stopped at Sonic Adventure 2, and then I was like, peace. See you later, Sega!
This series has peaked.
Yeah, I was like, it can't get better than this.
Yeah. So that's why if we both believe the statement that I'm a bigger Sonic fan, that's why I find it surprising that you are actually more excited for this movie than I am.
Well, it's because you're just a loser, man.
I know you wanted to say something else, and I appreciate that you called me a loser.
You caught me.
Alright, so what makes you excited about this?
Because I like Sonic. He was my boy when we were growing up. I was more of a fan of the blue blur than I was of the plumber as a child.
So but what about the trailer? Let's get into some details here.
I thought, okay, well, I'm just giving some backstory of my life. Gosh. Well, I do like Jim Carrey. He does a very good job as Dr. Robotnik. I think he's gonna be the reason why this movie does as well as it's going to do.
100%.
Sorry, my boy John Raffio for the voice of Sonic. I adore you, but at the same time, gotta know your place here. But I don't know. It kind of looks interesting. Like, it looks fun. It's got like, yeah, it looks real bad and stuff, but at the same time, it's got like it's got all the Sonic things. He does his like little spin ball. He takes out a car. He's witty. I didn't see him eat a chili dog, so I was a little bit upset about that one.
Oh, there better be chili dogs.
There better be chili dogs. Like, he goes real fast, but I also didn't like the fact that he knocks out the power in like the entire North Pacific West, and that's what we're dealing with in this movie. Is like, oh man, an energy source knocked out the entire power in the North Pacific West. We're in the military and we work for the president. We got to figure this out, folks. Shut up. What?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a little too nonsensical for even how outlandish the Sonic storyline is. Like I just feel like when video game movies flop, it's because the writers, they don't really understand or appreciate or respect the source material, and they wanna make a movie their way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
go
ahead.
I was gonna say Donkey says it. Donkey from like Donkey Videos.
Yeah.
He says it best when he goes, "I'm really tired of all these big producers and movie makers thinking that they can make a video game," and then he mentioned something about the 40-year-old virgin movie where it's like, how are you gonna play an Xbox One game with a Nintendo controller? You can't.
I saw he made a video. I haven't watched it yet. I have to watch it.
The best. I thought it was hilarious. But anyway, so
it's just like when writers, they want to tell their own story, and then it becomes so different than anything it was supposed to be attached to, that like you can't even relate it back to the original source. Like, that's a lot of the failings of video game movies, is it feels nothing like the video game anymore. So like if he's hanging out running through San Francisco with James Marsden, like, that doesn't really feel like Sonic, right?
Yeah, it doesn't. You know what does feel like Sonic?
What's that?
We're running through some green hills,
rolling around at the speed of sound. Dude, do you think we're gonna get a scene of that giant truck following us and like driving sideways on the houses and down the hills?
Oh my god!
From Sonic. Oh my god, that'd be the greatest.
We're just rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go. Gotta follow my rainbow.
Yeah, do you know what? That's the one redeeming thing that would happen. I don't care how bad this movie is going to be. If they have that in there, it would be a 10 out of 10. It's not even a question.
It's not even a question. Like, but in reality, though, Jim Carrey is doing a pretty fantastic job as Dr. Robotnik. Don't care that he has hair still. He's still doing an amazing job.
Yeah, he does look like himself and Me, Myself, and Irene or whatever with the buzz cut. From all those years ago, yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah, that's such an underrated. No one ever talks about that one.
Me and my coworker talk about it all the time, but yeah, you're right.
Okay, two people talk about it.
Hey, you're right.
I just think, like, again, like, I need to see more, obviously. But like, you know, Robotnik is working on Earth for some secret organization or something.
He's working for the government in this movie. He owns his own company, Robotnik Technologies, but he's working for the government.
I need to see more. I think Jim Carrey will be fun. He's always good in those outlandish roles. So, and hopefully he captures a lot of Robotnik's like stupidity and not just goofiness, because we see a lot of him being goofy and, you know, being like funny, like telling the guy, "Oh, what's your name?" and he's like, "I don't care," or whatever he says. But like, we don't you know, like, remember the cartoons when we were growing up of Sonic with Urkel, Jaleel White, when he was voicing him. Like, that was a lot of my favorite memories with Robotnik, because him and his henchmen, like, they were like goons, like kind of like the Three Stooges style of like stupid guys.
Yeah.
So like, I hope Jim Carrey has some of that aspect in him, and he's not just like goofy dumb for like 4-year-olds to like, you know what I mean, where there's like some witty humor about how stupid he is. Because if he's like just an evil bad guy, like, I don't think that's as fun as if he's like laughably dumb but still evil.
Yeah, well, don't you remember the part that's it's in the trailer where he has one of Sonic's, like, I want to say they're...
His hairs?
His quills or hairs or whatever? Yeah. And he, like, puts it in his mouth? That's pretty dumb.
That's pretty dumb. I'm all about it.
But, yeah, you know.
Yeah, but we have to get to the hedgehog in the room, which is how Sonic the Hedgehog looks absolutely nothing like Sonic the Hedgehog.
First off, by the time this podcast airs, everybody will have already known that they are redoing Sonic.
That is true. That happened earlier today as of recording.
Don't put our podcast in the time. People will be confused of when we recorded this, and now they know exactly when we recorded it. Thanks a lot, Joe.
I'm here to help.
You ruined the immersion.
I had a real Robotnik moment just now.
You did. You did. But,
we were gonna. We were. See, this is what happens when we get focused on what day it is instead of the topic. That he looks atrocious, and the internet memed him into oblivion to the point where Paramount and the director of the movie came out and said, like, we are going to fix Sonic.
Well, yeah, like the amount of backlash that they probably received from everything, I can assume that they're going to definitely try to fix it. Because, like, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I was just gonna say, like, crazy town. The way he looks absolutely insane in this movie.
But haven't we been saying it for months now with all the silhouettes we've seen in that first poster of him on top of the Golden Gate Bridge? Like, we've been saying it for months. He looks nothing like Sonic. So why are they changing it now? They've had 5 months to change it.
Because, in all fairness, everybody was saying that it looked weird, but we didn't know what he actually looked like. The way he looks now is completely different from what we all probably thought he was actually going to look like. Correct? You tell me that you saw it.
I would say so.
Yeah, like, he looks completely different from what we originally thought. So, the people that, like, made this movie, like Paramount Pictures and all this other people, were probably like, you know what? Like, people are probably just confused with the images we put out. When they see the trailer, they'll like it more. Which they were extremely mistaken. I'm so confused how no one on this staff had ever played a game of Sonic and was just like, you know, this doesn't look anything like Sonic.
I even saw a tweet that was like, people trying to defend it because there's a lot of, like, apologists out there that are like, oh, well, it's really difficult to make him look, you know, in a real world with human beings or whatever, while he's still animated. And then someone linked, like, the Progressive commercial with him right next to Flo and how he looks exactly like Sonic and Flo is right there. So it's very clearly not that difficult.
Also, let's kind of go back to this thing, this movie that came out, I don't even know, it had to have come out in the 90s. Or something, but a movie called Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Because that was a movie that was half animated and half live action. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how hard it was to do that.
I'll do you one better, Joseph.
Do me one better.
Space Jam.
Space Jam.
Right. So it's obviously doable, and yeah, maybe those they don't live up to standards now, so you have to increase it. But, like, I saw this one truly atrocious take on Twitter right before we started recording of somebody, I didn't even remember who it was. I don't know. I don't want to give him the clout, honestly, with how ridiculous the statement is, was saying, so they retweeted the director's tweet saying they're going to fix it, and they say, congratulations, internet haters, or whatever. I hope you're happy because your outrage just made the lives worse, or your outrage over a dumb movie made the lives of hundreds of people worse working in animation departments because they're going to have to crunch and work even harder now to fix his design but have the movie out by November. And I'm sitting here like expletive, like, if they got the design right in the first place, then they wouldn't be having to fix it. if they actually tried to be true to the character and make it look like, I don't know, an iconic character in Sonic the Hedgehog, then they wouldn't have to sit here and try to fix the whole animation for the next 6 months before it comes out. Like, that's not our fault. Like, when you put a product into the world, people are allowed to react to it if they like it positively or negatively. So then sit there and say, all of these people are acting negatively, it must be just because they're losers, not because they are not fans of the product. Like, that's absolute nonsense to me. Like, it was hundreds of thousands of people reacting to it. It's not like, you know, some faux outrage that Twitter often tries to create with some tweet that has 5 likes on it. Like, hundreds of thousands of people were saying this is unbelievably poorly designed. And if Paramount wants to make money, which they do, they make movies for a living, so they get paid. They're going to fix that so the consumers will be more likely to purchase their product. It's that simple.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy town. Like, I don't get it at all. Like, I don't understand a lot of this, like, nonsense when people get so annoyed about people getting mad about stuff. It's like people have a right. People have a right to have an opinion right now. Like, it's okay. Like, people are allowed to not like the Sonic movie, and guess what? They're making for people to like the Sonic movie. They're not like, oh, we're gonna make a whole new generation of people like Sonic. It's like,
right,
dude, no, that's not how it works.
We're going to take what he's looked like for the last 30 years and throw it out the window so that, like, some random people on Twitter will be happy that we stayed true to our original image. Like, doesn't make any sense. But in lighter news, Joe, I told you about this the other day when we were talking. Team Sonic Racing comes out May 21st, I believe. That's like a couple weeks out. And you know I'm big into Mario Kart. I played Diddy Kong Racing as a child extensively, and of course Crash Team Racing, which is also getting a remaster coming out in June. So I'm definitely excited. I watched this like 8-minute gameplay of it. I still haven't sent it to you. I forgot to send it to you. But so it seems a lot more simplified than Mario Kart. Now, obviously, I don't know the mechanics on like, you know, like drift boosting and things like that, if that exists, but like, there doesn't seem as much interaction with the items. Like, there's no, to what I saw in the races, there's no blue shells or like, you know, random calamity things. Like, it seems like items are really supposed to help your team as a whole. Like, because so you're racing as a team. So let's say me, you, and John. I don't know, Jon Snow. Me, you, and Jon Snow. We're all on a team. Who do you want to be? I have dibs on Shadow. Who do you want to be? What Sonic character do you want to be when we race?
I'll be Knuckles. Like, I'm a Knuckles guy.
Really? I thought you'd be a Tails guy because you're like smart and stuff.
Nah, I like Knuckles. I just think he's a cool character.
All right, so I'm Shadow, you're Knuckles, and Jon Snow is Big the Cat because I don't know why else he would be, but. In the 12-man race, it's not just about like Mario Kart where you finish. We're all racing together, but on a team, so it's like collective. So if you're in first, I'm in fourth, and Jon Snow is in 12th, but then some other team is like second, third, and sixth. You know what I mean? Like, it's like it's like a group race. It's pretty creative. And as the races go on, or as the laps go on, the teams in the lower and lower teams get knocked out of the race. So there's less of that chance where, like, I was playing Mario Kart literally the other day, and I was just getting bopped by these like Japanese players with like 40,000 more points than me. And so I'm in like 9th place, and I have this realization, which might have been the first time in my 20 plus years of Mario Karting that I thought about this, was I'm in 9th place, I'm getting destroyed, I got like 1 coin, and I get a blue shell as my item. And I think this absolutely helps nobody. It screws over the guy in first, who is, you know, should be winning because he's better than everybody else. But also conversely, it also doesn't help me at all because it doesn't give me like a golden mushroom or something like that, or, you know, that like the item that gives you like all the items the figure 8 or whatever. Like, so you get what I'm saying? So it doesn't seem fair for anybody because it's the only person it's helping the people in second and third who don't need it. It's hurting the guy in first who's objectively being the best racer, and then it's also not helping the person who pulls the item. So it seems like Team Sonic Racing, from what I saw with their items, you're able to pass them along to your teammates, or like, I don't know exactly how, if you have to be close, like your carts have to be close or something like that. But you're able to exchange items, so if somebody is in the back and wants to take out somebody else, you know what I mean, that you're competing against. Like, it seems like there's some actual team strategy to it. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, sounds exciting. Like, I'm not big into the kart racer games, but sounds pretty exciting.
Well, I mean, they look like cars, if that helps you. It doesn't look like a cart.
Well, it looks like Knuckles is riding a motorcycle.
Right. So there's there's a lot of customization where Mario Kart really doesn't have that. So you can choose your colors and your rims and your.
Why does this look familiar?
I mean, they announced this game a while ago, and it got delayed like a couple times.
How long ago did they announce this game? I've definitely seen this game before.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while. I don't know. I can try to.
No, you don't have to try. Oh, Big the Cat, what's up? Big the Cat's back, dude.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of characters. I'm really excited.
Yeah, we got Amy, we got Knuckles.
There's one from May of 2018, so I'm guessing that was last May.
Nah. I think what I'm kind of thinking about is the racing part, the racing in Sonic Adventure 2. That's what I'm definitely thinking about.
Well, I would say the graphics have definitely updated since.
Well, yeah, but like remembering graphics of a game like back then, comparing it to now, like a game you haven't played in a while, you're like, man, that game looked amazing when I played it.
Yeah.
And like you kind of like gauge it towards it being now, and then you play it again, and you're like, oh, whoops, whoopsie, not true. Anyway,
all right. So I think we've lasted as long as we could on our Sonic conversation, and wait and see to see what Sonic actually looks like in the finished product, and we'll let you know about Team Sonic Racing, which I'm definitely gonna get. Maybe Joe will. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll convince him.
We'll see what happens.
But next up, a game. Not only are you going to get it, you've already purchased it at quite the high price.
Why you gotta bring this up?
That shows your level of fandom and excitement.
Well, yeah.
I think it adds to your credibility from our listeners. We have new listeners every episode, Joe. Okay? If somebody comes in because we're discussing Borderlands 3 and they want to see the validity or your credibility as a Borderlands fan, I just expressed how big of a fan you are.
All right, fine. Or I just have money to blow and I just spent it on a video game.
Little column A, little column B, you know?
Yeah, you know. Yeah, so Borderlands 3, we've been waiting for this game for a little bit. It's been teased at for the past, 5 years, because they've been making it for the past 5 years. And today they showed us a hour-long gameplay session, and I wouldn't really say it was an hour long because it was kind of like a mini conference that they held, and they showed us maybe 15-minute clips from different parts of the game, showing off 1 to 2 of the new characters that you can play in the game. So in this new announcement and gameplay trailer, we saw mainly the use of the Siren character. I think her name is Aurora, but I can't remember exactly what her name is. It was mainly showing off her skill set. It showed off a little bit of the beginning of the game, like the beginning of Pandora, and then you meeting up with Claptrap, and you versing your first raider area. Now going off of a new name of since there's a new cult that's on Pandora that's called the Children of the Vault, I think. Okay. I believe is the name of it, and it's being run by these twin brother and sister, and they act like they're gods in Pandora. Mainly due to the fact that the sister has an ability to absorb power from other people. and she turns them into husks.
Oh.
So that's something to kind of look forward to, like this new storyline. But yeah, there's the two villains. They kind of base them off of Twitch streamers, like the most annoying of the annoying Twitch streamers now.
That seems to be a common thing in gaming that they're doing, you know.
But it's kind of funny. I did think it was an interesting thing that they were doing, because have you ever played Borderlands?
Yeah, I played a little bit of the first one. I played it with you for like a couple hours.
Yeah,
and
Pandora
and then I played Tales from the Borderlands.
Yeah, like Pandora is a hellscape.
Right.
Yeah, so there's like not a lot going on. So yeah, they have like a Twitch streamer type service over there. They showed us a lot of new guns they're gonna have, guns with legs, guns that have missiles that lock onto it, guns that you can shoot a homing beacon onto a character, and no matter where you shoot those bullets, they hit that character. They're kind of going off of the fact that they're going to have over 1 billion guns in the game.
Oh my
god! That's that's what they stated from the beginning. Like when they announced the game, that's what they said, and they always follow through with that. So they're going to have a ton of different guns in it. We're going to different planets. We're going to explore different planets. So we're leaving Pandora. Sanctuary is now a spaceship that you are kind of on and control, and you get to go to different places. There's new faces we get to see again. There's new faces that we get to meet this time. Overall, I think it's going to be a real fun game if you're really into the Borderlands series like I am. This is like a game you've been waiting for, and you're going to be excited about it. But they're also kind of gearing it towards new players, where you can come in as a new player and still be able like enjoy it as much as we do as a veteran player, I guess you can call it.
Saw, because I read a Kotaku article to get me caught up on everything, and they mentioned like with that new and experienced player thing that if you're low level, so if I buy the game months after you do and your friends join, people's loot are calculated like separately. It's not like a group loot. So if I'm level 1 and you're 20, obviously that's not the real numbers, but you get what I'm saying. Just arbitrary. It's not going to be like level 10 gear. Like you'll receive gear at your rank and I'll receive gear close to mine. And they'll lower your power to make the fight more of a challenge or something because you're by someone who's low level.
Exactly.
I thought that was interesting.
The interesting thing they're also doing is that you can set it so that everybody gets their own loot. So you can open up a chest and you can take everything out of it, but everything in that chest will still be there for me. Oh. And I will also get everything out of it. But you have to set that as the game mode that you want to play. You can still play the classic version of Borderlands where you do shared loot.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty cool. It's a little bit confusing, and I was super like, how are we gonna do all of this? But it looks like it's working for them. They can do it. This one's gonna be co-op and split, like local split screen, which is really cool. I'm excited about that, and they're putting in more boss fights into it because that's always a fun thing in those games. The boss fights are always the best part. For me, at least, I love the different boss fights. There's a ton of more side quests to get done, and I don't know, man. Like this game looks fun to me. Like I'm excited about it.
So, if you want to talk about like some of the new things I see in this article, it says in addition to expansive and reworked skill trees, which gave each playable character 3 action skills to develop and swap between at the start, in the demo, one player controlled Amara, a siren class with a suite of abilities that included a phase slam area of attack, or AoE attack, a phase grasp that lifts enemies and holds them in place, and a phase cast that sends an astral projection of herself forward, dealing damage along the way. Randy Pitchford said that each action skill will also eventually unlock augmentations that will allow for further customization, which could lead to very different builds between players who choose the same character. These augmentations were not shown, however. That seems really cool to me. So if we're both sirens, but we can we can take, different branches, for lack of a better word, on our skill tree. Like, we can go on different routes but still be the same archetype.
Yeah, that was pretty much what they were kind of like hinting at. It also, like, watching the new trailer that they put out at the end of the little the end, I guess I'll call it a little conference, the little conference that they had. It kind of did show that Amora would be able to use like the different elemental things that they have in the world, so she can like spit out her astro projection towards someone, but also following it would be like a wall of like acid or fire, or a new one they call radiation. So it's cool. Like the skill trees are always really cool in Borderlands, but like I said, we only saw 2 of them. One of the other ones was like a mix of, they said like a hunter, one of the hunter characters, a soldier character, and the other one that I referred to, hunter, soldier, and I can't remember. I don't know, but the character design looks really good. They also seem to have been. It looks like they put a ton of work into this game. It looks beautiful. The game looks like the art looks amazing. It looks real good to me.
Okay.
Like like I said, I'm excited. I'm excited to play it. Like, the story is always real fun. Like, we're dealing with a cult group now, which I think is really cool and interesting. The villains seem really fun and really interesting as well. Like, yeah, Handsome Jack was like one of the greatest villains in that series, but I'm hoping these twins can live up to the hype.
Yeah, and that the whole Borderlands is all about its villains. So
yeah, I'm excited for it, my dude. I can't wait for that Borderlands to come through. Can't wait for all those guns. Like, dude, so there's a type of gun in Borderlands where you don't reload it by normal means. What you have to do is, instead of like putting another magazine in it, you end up just like throwing it away. You like throw the gun at someone, and usually they like either exploded or they did something else. But in this one, it looks like some of them have like robotic legs, and they'll like run away from you and then continue to shoot at other characters. And sometimes they'll just explode and set off a grouping of missiles towards a character. Or another thing they showed was one of them, you throw it and it kind of turns into like a giant bouncy ball that bounces around the room. And when it gets to its last bounce, it explodes into like a heap of fire. You know what I mean? Like something like that. So that seems pretty cool to me. You know what I mean?
I'd have to see it. It's tough. Like, I really do feel I'm upset with myself that I have not watched the live stream yet to get the full extent. Because I'm jealous, because I've always thought the game looked cool, like visually and appealing, and all the guns and stuff. I never, besides Tales from the Borderland, never really had the chance to dive into it. So
then why don't you dive into it, Joe Brown?
Well, what if Animal Crossing comes out at the same exact time?
It won't.
How do you know?
I just know.
I also, if we could veer topics for a second here, I saw another article on Kotaku. Microsoft's official examples of acceptable trash talk are a joy. And here are some things they sent, I guess, a message to their players of things that are unacceptable to say, like, a racial slur, or, other profanities, or, whatever. And then they said, here is some acceptable trash talk. And then they listed in bullet points. Are you ready for this? Now, Joe, tell me when I read these, if you're playing Halo or Gears of War or something like that with somebody, and they say these things, if it'll be acceptable trash talk.
Okay.
Get destroyed. Can't believe you thought you were on my level.
Dog, I feel like it's pretty good.
That was some serious potato aim. Get wrecked.
I love it. I love it. That's me. That's me right there.
Only reason you went positive was you spent all game camping. Try again, kid.
Dude, I don't know about you, but some of this trash talk is good. Like, this is good trash talk.
Cheap win. Come at me when you actually drive without running cars off the road. Oh, sick burn, dude. Oh.
Dude, I don't know what's going on, but Microsoft's on point.
That sucked. Get good, then come back when your KD's over 1. Which is...
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Okay, that is a lot better than the first version of that is you suck, get out of my country. Maybe they'll let you back in when your KD's over 1. That was the unacceptable version. So next time you're on Xbox One, don't tell somebody to get out of my country. It'll cost you.
Okay.
I'm just... Oh, dude... Oh my god. And it says feel free to, of course, feel free to mix and match to create your own acceptable insults. Quote, cheap win, kid. Though you're not on my level, get wrecked. See? Easy. Oh my god. Phil Spencer, what are you doing over there?
He's doing great work. What are you talking about?
Oh my god.
He's doing amazing.
Thank you to Luke Plunkett for writing that article. I don't see references to my opponent's mom in the things you shouldn't be saying online. All right, let's get into our last topic here because it's a bit of a doozy.
Let's do it.
Game of Thrones, Season 8, Episode 3, The Long Night, aka what everyone was calling it was the Battle at Winterfell, because that's literally what happened. So, it took 55 days to shoot. It cost over $15 million just for that one episode. It is the longest episode in Game of Thrones history.
So far.
And there was, I don't even know, maybe 10 minutes of dialogue compared to the hour and 24-minute runtime or whatever. So a lot of action went on. So, Joe, I'm gonna let you take it away here.
Why? I thought you had a lot of stuff to say for this episode.
It's just like, I think I have a problem, Joe.
I think you do too.
I just, for some reason, I'm not very aligned with the world right now. I don't know what's going on. My favorite things that I've loved and held, cherished forever, are just slapping me in the face, it seems like. And
what are you talking about?
It seems it's my fault. I'm blaming myself here. Because when I go around the world and I see all these reactions to, oh my god, greatest episode ever, wow, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. Oh, by the way, spoilers, everybody. If you get out of here, if you haven't, I cut off my own monologue to make sure I said spoilers. But I feel like I see all these things about how great and amazing it was, and I'm sitting there, and I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone, Joe.
So why didn't you think it was amazing?
First of all, I couldn't see a damn thing.
Okay, well, none of us could.
Right, and I think that was poorly done, but some people are defending it, and they're saying, oh, it makes sense because it's at night, so the characters wouldn't be able to see anything. And it's like, yeah, they wouldn't be able to see anything, but the audience has to see what they don't see, because, the Battle at Helm's Deep or whatever, Lord of the Rings, that was pretty bright. We saw everything that was going on in that battle, even though it was at nighttime. So that was number one. Number two was, I think it was, I'm not going to say poorly paced, but it was awkwardly paced. And some of the decisions they made, I feel like they were looking for big story beats and story moments in the episode and didn't really think about how to get from A to B to C to D, and were more focused on making those individual moments shine.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair?
You're going to have to explain that.
All right. And then point three, was Arya killing the Night King.
Okay, you need to table that one because you just need to stop with that. I think you're being a little ridiculous with it.
So is Arya the prince that was promised? Is she Azor Ahai? She wasn't born among fire and salt.
I'm sorry. Was there the sword that was supposed to be made to kill the Night King? Because didn't happen either. Yeah, did that happen? No. So why don't you jump off the horse that you're riding on?
That is high.
That is high, and you get down off of it, and you understand that this is an adaptation of a book that hasn't even been written yet. And of course it's going to be different from what the main story is going off of.
George R. R. Martin said this is going to be very close to what he writes in the book.
I don't know about that. He also has already stated that it's going to be also different from the book, so that the show doesn't ruin the book.
So do you think Arya kills... Well, there's no Night King, whatever, in the book. Do you think Arya is the one who brings the dawn in the books? Because that's a pretty drastic difference. It's not like, there was this one extra character and this other extra character in the books. We just combine them into one person in the show. Like, that doesn't really mean anything. Like, Arya bringing down the ultimate bad guy, that's a pretty big deal.
Oh, man. Like, why is it that big of a deal? Tell me.
It just seems like...
She trained for 5 seasons, man.
No, first of all, I am not sitting here saying she could not kill the Night King. Like, there are people saying that online, or, how did she get there? Or why did nobody see her? It was like, well, she was gone for like 20 minutes in the movie, so she could have ran over there. And she also has the assassin ability, so she could have went undetected. Or like, I'm not disputing that she physically would be capable of killing the Night King. My issue is with David Benioff and D.B. Weiss or whatever for writing 3 years ago, deciding that she was going to be the one killing him, because her arc after like season 5 or whatever, even season 4, like once she got to that house, like she became less interesting of a character. Like, her arc was not as exciting as it was in the first 4 seasons. And I think a lot of people would generally agree with that, because they ran out of material in the book, so she was kind of just lollygagging around with Jaqen H'ghar and doing stuff. So she didn't really have like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a purpose in that in those seasons, because they were waiting to bide time for George to ever write those books that he still hasn't finished. So
it's only one book, but yeah.
No, it's 2 books. He needs to write book 6 and book 7.
I thought he was writing the last book.
Well, okay, but book 6 is still not released. So even if he's completed it, it's still not out.
Mm-hmm.
So her character became less interesting over time, and she, like, people say, like, this is the moment she trained for. It's like, no, it's not, because all of her training led to her killing everybody in the Frey family and doing that. Like, that's what her moment led for. Like, and obviously maybe she still kills Cersei, so her training would also lead to her killing Cersei. We don't know. We have 3 episodes left. But, like, for them to follow the air quotes prophecy that Melisandre tells her in season 3, when she says, you will shut many, many eyes. And she says in season 3, brown, blue, and green, which is inconsequential. But now, here in season 8, she says, remember what I said, or whatever, brown, green, and blue. And it's like, but like, that wasn't even the prophecy you told her in season 3. Like, that's completely different context. So they cared more about that prophecy than Melisandre telling 14 different people in this story that they're all Azor Ahai and having that prophecy fulfilled. They cared more about a throwaway line in season 3 than like the most important prophecy in the entire series.
Okay.
So I feel like this is the one-sided discussion right now. I want to have. I
don't know what you want me to say, Joe Brown. I don't know a lot about the prophecy in the books, but you're just really mad about it. You're really mad that the show isn't following exactly what the books are doing when they've already like completely done stuff differently from the book.
That's not what I said, though. Regardless,
you're mad
you know who else sucks? Bran, who's one of my top three
prophecies.
Bran is one of my three favorite characters.
Stop changing the topic. You're mad about the prophecy, correct?
Yes, correct.
You're mad about that. You're mad about how Melisandre has said it to different people about different things, and that Arya got this.
Clearly important.
Sure. But, like, there's still so much shit to happen. Like, there's still a huge other war that needs to go down.
Okay, and we'll get there when we get there. But right now, we're not there. We're discussing what happened. So,
yeah,
and we can continue on something else of how Bran has been absolutely wasted for, like, the last 4 seasons, except for the hold the door moment, which was, like, one of the craziest things the show has ever done. He's done literally nothing, and, like, he wargs off into nothing, and I am like I said, Brandon was one of my 3 favorite characters in the show. And what the producers and writers have done is they have fulfilled their own prophecies in this circle of people don't like Bran because we don't give him enough screen time. Therefore, we're going to give him less screen time because people don't like Bran. Like it's been a cycle for like 4 seasons now that we literally learned hardly anything about Bran. Why'd he go hang out in Ravens? Why couldn't he if he's gonna warg into things, why didn't he warg into the dragon that was fighting Jon so Jon could get through in there? Like they just Bran is such a loser, and that's frustrating.
You can't warg into dead things.
How do you know?
You're right, how do I know?
That's a good question. And, like, I'm not hating Arya. My favorite part of the episode was her in the library. I thought that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
This has nothing to do with Arya.
But you hate the fact that she killed the Night King.
Yes, because that was Jon's kill.
Stop yelling and give me a minute.
Okay.
But, okay, it was Jon's kill because of the prophecy that we have hardly been following in the show.
And every interaction with the Night King has been from Jon's perspective.
Okay, cool. But like you said, the Night King isn't even in the book.
Okay.
So why does it matter who kills the Night King?
Because
how do we know that the prophecy isn't referring to Cersei destroying Westeros and that he's supposed to kill her?
Well, that would also suck because everyone thinks that Jaime or Tyrion is going to kill Cersei because of her prophecy that she had when she was a kid that her brother would kill her. And people have been debating for years on which brother that meant. And people think it's Jaime because he would go from Kingslayer, who's a traitor, to Queenslayer, the hero.
Okay.
So that would also suck if Jon randomly is the one that kills Cersei. That would not be satisfying.
I know. I don't know then. I don't know what to say to you to make you somewhat happy, Joe Brown, because you're real mad about something, and I don't know what to do. I'm not mad.
I'm disappointed because of how... Okay, here's a perfect example, which I think this is something we can come to even ground on. So, Game of Thrones, obviously the game that everybody is playing, you can't make mistakes. And George R. R. Martin has said repeatedly, the people who die are the ones who are punished for their mistakes in playing the Game of Thrones. They're not playing politically. They're not playing smart. They think with their heart, like Robb Stark, and he was punished for that because he chose love over duty, and that was the punishment you got, and so he did not deserve to win the Game of Thrones, right? So Ned Stark was too honorable, and because he told Cersei that he was going to oust her entire family as illegitimate to the throne, she then had him killed, right? So he had made a mistake
that is the dumbest mistake. Like, that's the stupidest thing to punish someone for. You are so honorable that I'm going to kill you.
Right.
And you're gone.
But he did that. But Ned was very proud and very hard-headed, like, and that's what ended up costing him in the end, is he thought that by him being honorable and telling Cersei ahead of time was the right thing to do, and she would just leave and go off on a boat with her 3 kids or whatever. So, regardless, there's been a precedent set within this show that when you're vying for the Game of Thrones, if you make mistakes, you get punished for them. So there should have been a punishment in the crypts when they said it's the safest place in Winterfell for when people came out, because not one important character died. Not even the girl from the episode last week we don't even know her name, and she said, I'm going to protect everybody. There should have been a punishment, and somebody should have died for the consequence of not preparing for that. Can we agree on that? We could have Varys or the little girl, somebody die because they did not prepare properly to teach the lesson.
I don't know. Maybe someone did die, though, and we just haven't seen it yet, man.
Not important people.
Well, you don't know that.
Not named characters.
We know that Varys, Sansa, and Tyrion didn't die.
Right.
We know that.
And Missandei, she didn't die.
Maybe Gilly's dead.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be crazy.
But
you don't know. That. You don't know, because we haven't. We saw, like, the crypts weren't even like that big of a thing in the episode. That crazy stuff happened, showed how crazy it was going on down there, and then it cut to everything else going up on topside, because that's what everybody wanted to see. So what happens when we get to the next episode and an important character has died in the crypts, Joe Brown?
That would be.
You're gonna shove that 12-size shoe into your mouth?
First of all, I wear 14. 1. And
gross.
2. That would be the worst writing technique ever, to have a character not only not die on screen, but die in between episodes with no video of. That would be so poorly written. So that's not going to happen. Gilly's not just going to be a dead body at the start of episode 4. She would have died in the episode. If she is, then I will shove that size 14 in my mouth.
That's what I thought.
Okay, Joe, what did you like about the episode?
You're getting like so heated about this episode when I really liked it, so I don't know what you want me to say to you.
I asked you what you liked about the episode.
I know, but like this whole beginning part of this conversation, of course it's going to be one-sided because I disagree with almost everything that you're saying.
Do you think it was tactically smart to send the Dothraki out?
No, of course not.
All right, that was dumb.
Yeah, that's why they all died.
That was pretty sick, though, when all the lights went out.
That was pretty sick.
Like, oh.
I was happy, though, that our main boy did come back.
Ghost?
No. No.
Who? Who's more important than Ghost? Well, for a little bit.
He came back from, like... He led the Dothraki charge, and he came back.
Listen, man. Jorah's my boy. All right. I'm a big boy. I'm a big Jorah fan.
I know you are.
I know the pains of being friend zoned, so I can relate to him on a personal level.
Oh my god.
So that was a tough one for me. That was the most important death to me in this episode, was my man Jorah, because he's finally been unchained.
Okay. I did like the sea of dead. It wasn't even just like an army of the dead. It was the sea of the dead. Just like coming at them like a wave of like bodies of decaying like flesh and bones. That was the craziest thing ever. Like, I thought that was like so cool.
Dude, that was crazy when they all just went on top of the fire so people could walk across it.
That was such an opt. I was like so mad about that part. I was mad about
crazy.
That part.
I was like, what? They don't, because they're mindless. They don't care that they're killing themselves.
Yeah,
They're just going on it.
Part of me was just like, of course they're gonna do that. They're dead. But I was like, those bodies would catch fire. Like, of course those bodies would catch fire. What do you mean that's gonna just go away?
Yeah, I don't know how that one made any sense, but
that one didn't make much sense to me. But I like the fighting. The fighting was real cool. Arya being her bad self, killing all these people. It still showed her that she wasn't like the be all end all, because she made mistakes and dropped her weapon and had to go hide and sneak around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they did that. Yeah, Bran is doing whatever he's doing. Like, the next episode's really got to explain more about him, or at least one of these episodes needs to do it. Like, they need to at least tell us what's going on with Bran. But the dragon fights were awesome. Yes, it was dark. Yes, it was a bit annoying. I just turned all my lights off. Our boy from the God of Light finally got his rest.
Beric Dondarrion.
He's sleeping now. Our good lady in red decides to dissolve into the sun right at the end of the episode.
Right, like a little skinny dipping.
More like a little just skinny blowing in the wind, just gone. Boom.
So you think Beric Dondarrion is happy that the Lord of the Light brought him back 85 million times just so he could hold the door as Arya got out? Like
no,
that was his purpose for all these years.
Hodor held the door.
Yes, but so did Beric by getting stabbed a bunch of times.
No, Beric was a barricade.
Oh, I haven't heard anyone say that. That's hilarious.
I can't take credit for it. I stole it from the internet.
Oh, okay. I thought that was all you. I was very proud of you, Joe.
Thank you, but I can't take credit for it. But yeah, see, like Hodor, he held that door. Beric, he barricaded that hallway, and then died.
It just doesn't seem something as profound as a reason for the Lord of Light to bring him back so many times.
It seems like the Lord of Light just had like there's one timeline, and this timeline needs to happen, and then he needed to be alive for that to happen.
The Lord of Light works in mysterious ways.
Yes, he do. Yes, he do. Or she do. Or it do. It. We'll go with it.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. Got to die to see.
I just don't know what to say to you, Joe.
Why? Because we disagree very heavily on this episode?
I feel bad. Like I've hurt our friendship by not enjoying it as much as you did.
No, Joe Brown, we literally had this conversation earlier about how everybody's allowed to have their opinion about stuff. And that's fine. Like, you're allowed to have your opinion about the episode and not like it as much. And that's okay, bud. It just leads to us having heated discussions about stuff. And that's fine. We're still best friends, bud.
We had 2 anime filler episodes before this that literally nothing happened, and all they did was set up the fact, like, these are all of your favorite characters' last nights in the world. They're all, and so many of them are going to die tomorrow. And
supposedly,
and not one significant character. Don't give me Theon. Don't give me Jorah. Not one significant character in the storyline died. You could have had... What a great way for Brienne to go out. As a knight, she gets knighted and then she saves Jaime, and that's how she goes out or something. You know what I mean? Like, how does what's-his-face, Grey Worm, live after he talks about living on sandy beaches with Missandei? Like, that's story writing 101. You can't talk about a happy ever after before a war because you will always get killed. Like, how does he live? He was on the front line with all those other Unsullied, but they died, but he lived. Like, give us some deaths, man.
Dude, I know how Cersei's gonna get it.
Get it in what sense?
I know how Cersei's gonna die. I've cracked the code.
All right,
Cersei's gonna die like this. Tyrion and Jaime gonna do it together. One from the front, one from the back. Double stab.
I'm down.
Brienne of Tarth is gonna get killed by the hound, by the mountain. After he kills the hound.
What?
So the hound is going to be slain by the mountain, but Brienne of Tarth is going to kill the mountain while also getting killed herself by the mountain.
What if we flip it around and have the mountain kills Brienne and the hound gets revenge while he and the mountain kill each other?
I don't know about that because I feel like... Well, I guess you're right.
Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that make more sense thematically?
Yeah, but I feel like Brienne is more of the one to die while also killing something.
Right.
You know, not just get straight up murdered.
I wonder how, like, their entire army got decimated. The Dothraki race is just, like, completely gone. The Unsullied are, beyond repair. The North has been destroyed, and Daenerys is like, bloodthirsty. Like, let's go get Cersei now. Like, they should wait a couple months. They got nothing looming up north, right? Like that they have to fight. The White Walkers are gone. Also, the White Walkers did literally nothing. Those army of soldiers didn't have a single fight, didn't have a single scene. Like you could have had Jon killing some of them.
That would have been cool.
So that's why I said like wasted potential. Like there was just, in my opinion, things that were wasted in this episode that could have went better.
You're right.
Like how crazy would that have been if Bran took the dragon away? Oh my God, that would have been. That's what let Jon go through.
I do not know, man.
You could still have the Arya ending, whatever, but like at least show off some of Bran's powers. Who's like one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful person in Westeros right now. But he just goes into ravens so he could be like a perspective in the sky, I guess, for the audience. So I legitimately still have no idea what Bran was doing.
I definitely feel like he did something, and we're going to find out about that later.
And there go all the theories that Bran is the Night King in the future. You see those theories? Joe? Hello? I've lost Joe. I'm trying to get
I'm here.
There you are. You hear me?
I hear you.
All right. Yeah. So I said there go all those theories that people thought Bran was the Night King from the future.
Well,
that ain't happening.
I thought he still could be.
I don't think so.
I thought he could still be the Night King.
I feel like they would have brought that up. The Night King's dead. They're not going to have another chance to tell us that. I have no problem with them killing the Night King this episode. I think it made perfect sense. Like, what are you going to do? Drag this battle to 2.5 episodes or something? Like, I thought it made sense to kill him.
Yeah, it totally did. It totally made sense to get rid of him.
Like, because there are people who wanted the last battle to be with the Night King instead, where we have Cersei as the last one. Because, like, I saw this tweet too that had a lot of likes on it. That was like the point of Game of Thrones is that all of this human bickering and political battling and stuff is distracting them from the real problem, which is the White Walkers, because the White Walkers are like an allegory for global warming or whatever, climate change. So the point of Game of Thrones is that, this is what the tweet said, that all the human bickering and politicking is distracting them from the real problem. And then they say, and they're saying the point, or that was the point of A Song of Fire, of Ice and Fire, the books. And now the show's point is that the White Walkers were distracting them from the real threat, which is humanity. So those are like two completely different themes.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea. Like, I can't give a thing on that because I haven't looked into that like that kind of like concept of the enemies in the game. I mean, not the game, the show. Like,
mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like the White Walkers had to be handled first before handling the overall one.
I agree.
We're just gonna have to find out on this week's episode.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Oh, God. Could you imagine if Cersei wins the whole thing?
I'd hate the show forever.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to do that.
Yeah, no way.
But don't worry, Arya's going to sit on the Iron Throne. It's cool.
That'd be cool, actually.
Because it's unexpected. We decided 14 years ago that Arya was going to sit on the throne. So,
George.
It would be, and D&D even said not because it was the right thing, but because it was the least expected thing. That's why they chose Arya.
Okay,
so it had nothing to do with story. It had to do with shock value.
Yeah, that's a bit crazy.
I don't know. We got 3 episodes left. There's like almost 4 hours left of Game of Thrones. So
Yeah, we got some time. We got some time.
well, Joe, this has been an enlightening experience. Make sure don't tell people to go back to their country when you're in a racing game with them.
I will not.
Okay.
I will make sure to not tell them that.
You know what? I don't know why I'm so negative right now, because the world is going to change forever next week. It's going to be a better place. There's going to be no more wars. There's going to be no more world hunger. The qualms of the universe will all be solved next week.
Yeah, because of that good Detective Pikachu movie that's coming out.
Damn right.
Hey, it's me, your boy, Detective Pikachu.
You know we're going to be talking about that one.
You know it.
I might quit my job just to go see that movie.
Don't do that.
Find out next week if I'm employed.
Find out next week on the next episode of Cup of Joe's, where we discuss if Joe Brown is still employed.
The next episode of Detective Pikachu.
All right, everybody. Well, I think we're gonna end it here. I've been your host, Joe Perry, and always accompany me, even though we did fight a little bit. Accompanied by my best friend, Joe Brown. You hear me, Joe Brown?
I want to make a really inappropriate comment, but then I remembered about the Xbox Live comments that I can make, so I couldn't say it on the air.
Yeah, that's right. But you're still my best friend. And that's going to be our episode of Cup of Joe's. Join us next week on the next episode, where we literally discuss if Joe Brown will be employed or not, because he might quit to go watch Detective Pikachu. All right. That's it, folks. Bye.